I'm just really, I'm annoyed.
I feel like we got taken advantage of.
Everyone was pissed off.
I didn't want to go to another place. I just wanted my money back.
Many people have reached out to Steve on Your Side with a beef about zone athletic clubs. They've all experienced the same thing at different zone locations across Colorado. Let's start with the latest, the Zone Athletic Club near Southlands Mall in Aurora.
They finally sent out an email and said they were going to be shutting down on Friday. 2 days notice, fantastic.
And they closed down just a few days later.
It shocked Tiffany McEwen for a reason.
My son signed up a week before, paid a month dues, and they shut down 6 days later.
Both Chad and Tiffany got this message on January 21st, saying that the Southland Zone would be closing on January 23rd. Their memberships would be transferred to a YMCA nearby.
The equipment isn't adequate. The hours aren't adequate.
They both told Zone they'd rather cancel.
And they responded, okay, we'll cancel you, but we have to you need 30 days notice. It's in the contract.
30 days notice?
They gave us 2 days notice, but they wanted 30 days notice for us to cancel.
It says I have to give 30 days notice.
But they gave you 2.
Exactly.
If that sounds familiar, it's because it is.
Something along the lines of, at the end of the day, we'll be shutting our doors for good.
Anna Wilson thought when the zone in Fort Collins shut down last spring, her membership would be over.
A week later in March, I got a charge to my Wells Fargo for my monthly payment for Zone.
It wasn't.
And they explained that they had transferred my membership to Crunch in Fort Collins.
I said, who do I call to get out of this? And nobody knew.
Susan's membership at the Cherry Creek location was moved twice.
We're supposed to be doing ballet bar, and there was no bar. We were using folding chairs.
By this point, Susan, who'd paid for a year in advance, just wanted her money back.
What a way to run a business.
Steve on Your Side found Zone was actually evicted from that Cherry Creek gym, according to court records, which say at one point they owed $4.9 million in back rent. A sign on the window at the Fort Collins location last spring said the building had been seized by the state due to unpaid taxes. And the Southlands location was under an order to vacate for unpaid rent too, $2.9 million there. The Southlands order was issued almost a month before Tiffany's son signed up.
I wouldn't think they'd be signing people up and then closing down.
There's a reason all of them couldn't cancel right away after they found out their gym was closing.
I found out that you could move they could move us within 5 miles.
A term in the contract they signed to become a member.
Like, did you read through the contract? Did you notice that provision about the 5 miles?
Do you read through every contract?
I don't.
Exactly.
Zone's contracts specifically state a member can only cancel their membership if it is transferred to a location more than 5 miles from the location of the establishment when the member entered into this membership agreement.
If I would have known that, I would have never have signed up with them. Ever.
In a phone call with Steve on Your Side earlier today, one of Zone's executives, Brad Banker, said that 5-mile transfer is standard in the gym industry. He says the reason for the short notice was his business was trying to negotiate to the very end. And Banker told us he is providing refunds. Chad got this email this weekend where Banker said he was giving him a refund, then threatened to sue him, calling him a keyboard princess, and ending with, quote, "Good luck with your fake and libtard news story."
I get it, businesses close down all the time, but don't take advantage of the people who kept you in business for all these years.
By phone today, Banker told me that he was angry when he wrote that email because he felt he was being bullied, and he said stuff that he shouldn't have and did that just out of his worst judgment. He said that he's willing to cancel anyone's membership if they don't want to go to the YMCA near Southlands. They just need to email the Zone email address that came along with your membership, and he already has refunded both Chad and Tiffany. The Better Business Bureau says before you sign any sort of membership agreement, you should always read the terms of the contract first. I'm Steve Stager. Steve on Your Side, 9 News.
All right, for starters, he should have talked to my wife because she always tells me not to write exactly what I'm thinking when I'm responding to somebody. Think about it for a second.
Take a breath.
But he apologized for that. But here, Steve, this is what I don't understand. This seems like a pattern. And you're saying that he's actually following the law?
Yeah, the Colorado Consumer Protection Act has a provision for health clubs that specifically says you are committing deceptive trade practices only if you close down and don't allow members to cancel and transfer their memberships beyond 5 miles. So if it's less than 5 miles, it's still within the bounds of the law. And he says that's a pretty standard term in contracts for gyms. In fact, he says Zone actually bought memberships from other gyms that closed down through the course of their business. I did ask him today if they plan to open any more health clubs in the metro area. He said the plan right now is no.
Yeah, I don't know though. You've got to think this law should change a little bit, because most people, like what they said, I don't want to go to that other gym. I signed up for this gym.
When you think about it, you've taken the time, and the BBB does recommend that if you're going to sign up for a gym, you should go there and visit, meet with someone, and have somebody talk through the terms of the contract. But you want to be there, and you want to see what the gym looks like. And if you sign up for a gym and they end up sending you somewhere else you don't want to go, you shouldn't, in my opinion, at least have to fight that. Should be able to just get out of that contract, which it sounds like Zone, after all of this, is going to start to honor, at least for those folks at Southlands.
There's also that other little piece of them knowing they were going to shut down, but they were still signing people up.
Yeah.
You know, that court order that they had to vacate, so they had to be out of that building by January 25th. They sent that letter on January 21st, yet according to Tiffany, her son was signed up between that time. That order was issued on December 18th, so they had some time. They knew this was going on, but Zone tells us they were trying to find somebody else to take over that building. They were negotiating up until the very end, and then when they had that contract signed with the Y, that's when they sent out the notice.
Well, they're going to get some emails now. All right. Thank you, Steve.